Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting Sparks Toyota, and I'm checking out a 2018 Toyota Prius Prime. Now this one is in the advanced trim level, which is the highest. It starts off with a plus, then premium, and this is the advanced. So it has lots and lots of features. I think it has just about everything you can get on a Prime. So let's go ahead and check it out. This Prime is sitting on 195/65 Toyo tires wrapped around 15-inch alloy wheels. Now they have wheel covers to aid with the aerodynamics of the vehicle. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Blue Magnetism, and a pretty interesting name for a cool color. So it kind of looks like a teal. Hopefully you can see with the sun. The sun's behind the clouds right now, of course, but we'll see it more throughout the video. But check it out. It has this like a scooped out place there on the hood. And looking here in the front, it actually has a sonar parking sensors across the front, starting here on the side. So you can see one of them right here. And then they continue around, even have some right in here. Then you have the adaptive radar cruise control system. The sensor's right behind the Toyota emblem, which is cool. It also has adaptive grille shutters. So as the air flows through here in the grille, it's a flat black and combination, I guess you could say, grille. But as the air flows through, as needed, it can close that off. So that way, forcing the air to go around the vehicle. So the air hits the car and goes around, and instead of going into the less aerodynamic engine compartment. So that helps out with the aerodynamics of the vehicle. All the exterior lighting on this vehicle is powered by LEDs, which helps with saving power. So you have the LED strips here on the side, which serves as your turn signal, as well as a daytime running light, and then you have LED fog lights and a multi-projector headlight system with low beams on the outside and high beams on the inside. Rain sensing windshield wipers, and up here is your camera for your safety sense system, which will show you all the features when we get inside the vehicle. So looking at the profile here, everything is body colored. The handles, the side mirror, just about everything is body colored except for the gloss black that's around the door, the windows here. So you have the gloss black, the center portion of the pillars are gloss black, and of course if you were to tint the windows, it would kind of solidify that look. And then even in this area right here, it kind of gives it that free floating roof design, is what some people call it, in a gloss black as well. This is what the key fob looks like, and it's a proximity key system designed to where you can keep it in your pocket the whole time and use the vehicle 100% without taking it out. So you have the Prime name here on the other side. It has a gloss flat black and then the silver here on the edge. It's not very heavy key. It's smooth on the outside. It's pretty easy to keep with you without over encumbering yourself. But you have the lock and unlock buttons there, the panic button, but you also have this button right here. It says hold AC. So this is if you ever take your key, like a normal key, put it in the vehicle, turn it, and then you continue to turn it and start up. Well, if you turn it to that first position, it turns the power of the vehicle on. So that's what this does. So this is able to turn the power on the vehicle, get the climate control going, and you know, kind of get everything started for you. So once you get in the vehicle, the climate control will be there, and then you'll be ready to go. Now, depending on the battery level, it'll probably will not start the engine. It'll just use the battery power to get everything going for you. And so like today, this vehicle the engine hasn't ran yet for me, because it's basically just using the battery to power everything right now. As long as you have the key with you, it can be, like I said, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, or as long as it's within a close proximity of this outside of the door. So it only works if you're outside of the door. To lock it, you place your finger over this little sensor right here. So you can see it's indicated by these two lines. So if I push that, it's actually turned on now, so it's not going to lock, but that will lock the door. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle. It senses your hand position, it senses the key, it will actually unlock the door and allow you access. The key fob actually has a physical key on the inside in case you need it, and you can use that right here. So looking here on the passenger side, here's the inside of the door. It's a combination of a kind of like an off-white on the inside of the vehicle with a black. So most of it is a flat black. You do have some gloss black here around the controls. Everything from here down is soft to the touch until you get down to this point. Then you have the hard plastics. So all around your armrest here, it's kind of like you know, different synthetic materials. This portion is more like a vinyl or a Softex. Same thing with your armrest. And then this is kind of like a Nerf type material. And you have a pocket down here. It goes back here for a bottle or whatever you want to put. So this one has the premium JBL sound system with 10 speakers, and there's one here in the door. There's a threshold. Manually adjusted seat here for the passenger. Softex synthetic leather, which is a high quality, long-lasting synthetic leather that Toyota uses. That's what the seats are made out of. They are heated. And then you have the stitching here on the side in a blue. You also have like a teal color around the vent, which is looking pretty neat. Soft touch dash, and then a little place to put some stuff right here. It's just small items, or prop your cell phone up or whatever. Then you have the gloss black dash. There's a glove compartment. It's all smooth plastic on the inside. Here's the floorboard in front of the passenger seat. And you see there's a little bit of tapering here, but it extends more on that side, I guess, to make up for it. I'll put all the volumes and legroom and headroom and all that stuff. All the specs will be in the description. Also other links too, because this is a very complex vehicle and you can do a lot of research on it. So there's your heated seat control right in here. Okay, so here's the inside of the back door, and you have hard touch surfaces up here, unlike the front. Soft touch surfaces around your arm though, just like the front. Little storage pocket right in here, and your bottle holder is at the bottom. And there's another one of your speakers. All right, so the back seat actually has two separate seats with a divider in the middle. And I actually moved the passenger seat up to kind of a normal position, and the driver's seat is all the way back, just to give you an idea of some articulation here, reasonable articulation. Because if you put the front seat all the way up, then it takes a really short person to be able to sit in the seat. So just to give you an idea of the legroom back here, there's a little bit of a hump there in the center portion. You do have a 12-volt power supply. And then there's pockets on the back of the front seats, on both seats. Both of the rear seats have the latch system for car seats, and they're under a flap. So when you lift that up, you can actually see them real easy. It's also called ISOFIX. And then you have the little storage compartment here that's felt lined, 2 cup holders. And then this folds down, and then there's your armrest. A little bit soft, but not much. Now those seats fold down so you can add to your cargo space when needed. Really handy to fold seats down in a hatchback because it gives you tons of room. Okay, so since this is a plug-in hybrid, there has to be a place to plug in. So here on the passenger side is your plug, your outlet for the to plug in. And I'll show you the plug here in a minute. So there it is. So looking at the back of the vehicle, you can see it has the body matching color shark fin antenna right there. And then you have that gloss black. And there's a third brake light here in the very center, right in here. And then your all your lights back here, all LEDs. Parking sensors across the back, just like the front. Backup camera is a little bit offset. It's right up in here, so not quite the center position. But you may notice, check out this little curve in the glass. So this curve in the carbon fiber hatch, by the way. So this is a carbon fiber reinforced hatch. And I'll show you what it looks like underneath. It's pretty cool. But the glass and the carbon fiber hatch here kind of swoop down. And this is for aerodynamics. And it looks pretty cool as well. You also have glass down here so you can have better visibility behind the vehicle. So there and there. And we'll look at from the inside out as well. Okay, so let's open up the hatch here. Push the button and lift it up. Doesn't take much energy to lift it up. And then it goes the rest of the way by itself. But check it out. You can actually see the carbon fiber that the hatch is made out of exposed on good portions of it under here. Now, I wonder if it looks like that under the paint on the outside. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But all right. And there's your hatch open. So, and this one has a shade. So let's go ahead and move the shade out of the way. Okay, so if you have all the passenger seats in place and there's passengers in them, then this is your cargo space, which is pretty good, I think, especially considered as a hatchback. So you have a lot of height here. You have some storage space under here. Now this one has the tire inflator kit taking up some of the space because there's no spare tire, but this gives you the ability to repair a tire, hopefully, or at least inflate it. And then you have the storage space here on the right side. Now it has these little hooks here that pop out so you can hang bags or whatever. There's a light on that side. There's another hook on this side. This shade is removable, so you can take that out and you can fold the seats down, and they fold down, of course. Actually a 60-40 split fold, so right in here is the split. So this side folds down and then that side folds down. And you notice there's a little space in the middle to allow for the center console when you fold the seats down. So that way you have a much bigger cargo space back here. Okay, so under this, lift that up, move it out of the way. This is where you'll find your charging cable. So let's go ahead and pull this out, check it out. So this is the part that goes in the vehicle. It's like a little nozzle, just like you pump gas or whatever. And then the other side, this one has the 110, so you can just plug it into a regular outlet and charge the vehicle that way with this particular adapter. And then you have some tools for your jacking up the vehicle and all that stuff under here. I think it's pretty neat that this hatch kind of has a little bit of a lip spoiler here, and that design is really cool too. I'm trying to give you a different angle so you can hopefully see it on camera better. Kind of looks like a wave. Okay, so here on the driver's side is your fuel door, and it's locking. So push that to open it up. So being on the driver's side is convenient for putting gas in, and it has a traditional cap, tether, and a place to hang your cap. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, it can be in your pocket, in a bag, or just sitting in the cup holder. To start it up, you just put your foot on the brake, and push this button right here. Has a little intro there. There's a little bit of a glare. I'll have to put the shade in here. Later on we'll check out all this stuff. But just want to let you know that when you start the vehicle, you're not going to hear an engine running necessarily. So right now it's in EV mode, and it just turns everything on, and there's no, typically you start a car, you hear the engine start. This one doesn't, but it does give you the little ready notification up here, ready to drive. Okay, so here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now the driver's seat floor mat hooks in place, keeping it in place. There's your accelerator and brake pedal. You also have a foot actuated parking brake and a footrest here on the far left. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there is a latch a little bit to the right of center, right in here, and we just move it to the left and lift up. It doesn't take a whole lot of energy to lift it up because it is a light hood, but it does require the prop, which is located on the hood, and it flips down and goes right where the arrow is pointing. Looking at the engine compartment, you can see the hood is insulated on the underside. It also has an insulated firewall back there, if you can see that. Here's your battery, and the motor is partially covered up with a plastic cover. There's a seal across the back as well as the sides here, kind of helping out with noise and airflow. There's also seal across the front, so it just seals everything up. That way there's no, the air is flowing around the vehicle solidly. Okay, so under the hood there's a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine here, and since it's a hybrid, it also has an electric motor. So the electric motor works with the gasoline engine, and they call it a hybrid synergy drive system. So it doesn't have a traditional transmission like what you would think, but it does have the ability to use the engine and use the electric motor both to power the vehicle. And of course the battery is a store of power with that as well. So if you want to do some research on all the in-depth technical stuff, I will leave links in the description so you can check out all that stuff. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons here. So all the power windows are automatic. So one touch up and down, and then you have the door lock controls, and then your side mirror adjustments right there. Let's go ahead and scroll the window down so you can get an idea of its speed. The windows are also here on the glass are laminated, so you have 2 panes of glass with a lamination in between. Helps out with the structure being more solid, but also keeping noise out. Okay, so the driver has a power seat because they're special. They get the power seat, and of course it has the up, down, forward, back, all that good stuff. It also has a power lumbar adjustment as well. Here to the left of the steering column, he has a few buttons. We already saw the fuel door release, but this one right here, this vehicle has the ability to allow the vehicle to, after you plug it in, to charge at certain times, because on off-peak hours you'll have a basically a little bit cheaper cost for electricity, so you can go ahead and enable that here. Heads-up display, you can turn that on or off, and then you have the automatic high beams. Dimmer switch for your interior gauges are up here. Auto park feature, so this vehicle will help you parallel or perpendicular park by pushing this button, and it'll start searching for a space. And then your traction control you can turn off here. Steering column is a tilt and a telescoping steering column, and you lock it in place with this lever. Before I put the shade up, I just want to show you the heads-up display here, and you can actually adjust the the height up and down, the brightness. But it does, if you're wearing polarized sunglasses, it will impede your view of the heads-up display. It'll make it much dimmer and maybe even not that visible at all. But if you don't have polarized sunglasses, then you'll be able to see it just fine. The indicators for the blind spot detection system and the rear cross traffic alert system are here on the side mirrors. The heated side mirrors, by the way. You can see little indicators there, and they will blink or they will illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot, and they will blink if you put your turn signal on while there's somebody in that blind spot, just to kind of get your attention, I guess. Okay, sitting in the driver's seat, checking it out. I have the seat adjusted, the lumbar adjusted, everything, and I have plenty of leg room here. Now, I probably, since this is an automatic, I probably would have it just about all the way back, just so I can kind of have extra leg room here. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have really good leg room. The footrest is a little short for my foot. I'm size 13 shoe, so I'm touching a little bit there at the top, but you know, it's better than not having a footrest. It's still very comfortable. It's just a little bit, could be a little bit taller for me anyways. Okay, so here's the steering wheel, and it's a leather wrapped and heated steering wheel. Soft to the touch, very soft, and the thickness is good. And you have that white. So when it's the vinyl type material, it's kind of like an off-white, but then when you actually have the plastic, it's a true white here. Hopefully it's showing on camera. Then you have the gloss black portions. Okay, so back in here is your cruise control. So you can turn it on, set it, resume it, and pull it in to cancel. But once it's turned on, this is the adaptive radar cruise control system, in which you can control here. So you have this button right here controls the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. So as you push this button, it'll give you an indicator up here of how far away the following distance will be. So the radar keeps track of the vehicle in front of you, slows your vehicle down to match their speed, and then keeps you at a set distance. And you can adjust that distance here. It also has a lane departure alert, and there's your heated steering wheel button. These correspond with that screen, which we'll go into in just a minute. Then you have your volume for your radio, change through your presets on your radio or your audio track, depending on what you're playing. And then mode is your different audio sources, cycles through those, and you reset your trip there. Your Bluetooth controls, you can answer, hang up. Then you have a voice recognition system as well. Okay, so your windshield wiper controls are on the right side, turn signals are on the left, but you also have your headlight controls here. So you have daytime running light off, automatic, parking light, and then your headlights. And then your fog lights are controlled right there. Put that on automatic. Alright, so we already saw the start button there in blue. So the Prius, it has this screen that's kind of like it's just there in the middle there, so it's not in the normal position between the steering wheel, which is, it's non-standard, but it still works pretty well. So you have a big digital speedometer, outside temperature in that same spot, your trip, average miles per gallon, your fuel gauge basically. Then just to the right of that, you have a kind of like a separate little screen here that has a timer. Right now it's in the HUD settings, but we can scroll through. Let's go back out of that. We can change to kilometers per hour there. You can customize, do different customizations. There's vehicle settings. Actually, let me go into the vehicle settings just to kind of show you what's in there. And then the steering assist mode, lane departure alert sensitivity, these are things that you can turn on or adjust. Then you have the pre-collision system, which you can turn on or off here. Pre-collision sensitivity, you can adjust that. similar to the adaptive cruise control. And then you have the parking sensors. Basically, you can turn those on or off. That's actually parking assist. And then the sonar sensors are separate. And then your blind spot monitor system, lane sway warning status, sway warning sensitivity. So like say if you're swerving all over the road because you're tired, it can kind of sense that and give you a little alert, say hey, maybe it's time to take a break. Then you have a clock, you can adjust it right here. So there's kind of more of the settings side, and this is more of the information side. And I'm using these buttons here to cycle through that. So up and down, you make selections, and then there's back. Okay, continuing down this way, you have your what gear you're in, a digital clock. Now that little green ready is showing you that the vehicle's ready to drive. And then you have the indicators here, just kind of like a quick indicator, whether your blind spot monitor system's turned on or off, that kind of stuff. Parking sensors, cruise control. So as I turn the cruise control off, you notice this little green indicator goes off. Okay, so there's these little shadows here and here. You notice as they move as I turn the camera. That's coming from the camera refresh rate. You don't actually see those with your eyes. Matter of fact, I've tried to change the shutter speed, and all it does is just make it worse. So you can see as I'm changing the shutter speed right now, it just turns them into black bars. So there's not much I can do about that. So just know that it's not actually a characteristic of the vehicle, it's actually just my camera. Okay, so check it out. I really like the vertical screens here. It makes it easy to get everything and gives you a visual, more of a visual, more stuff to look at, and a larger, easy to read type screen. Okay, so it has the soft touch buttons here on the sides. Four-way flashes is a physical button there. But this is your home screen. So as I push this home button, this is the screen it's going to go to. And it shows a little car up there, has some little buttons as far as your options and stuff. Also, you can push this button here to make these go down out of the way and just show the map, which I'll show you all that stuff in a minute. But you can see the home screen has your app suite. It has information as far as your battery level, your fuel economy, your charge schedule, all that stuff is in there. And then the destination for your navigation there on the right side. Below that is your climate control and your audio, in which you can expand those. So if I go push the climate, it just kind of expands up and allows me access to that. I push the back button here and it goes out of the way. Same thing with the audio. It kind of pops up and you can select your audio source. AM, FM, satellite radio. You have USB, iPod, Bluetooth, and auxiliary inputs. Make that go out of the way. And then of course we could push this button up here and it moves those little things down, which is pretty neat. You can always push it again to move that back up. Okay, so we also have this button, the menu. So when we push that, it has this little animation that's pretty neat, and it shows those little round options that were at the bottom, kind of more prominent here in the center portion. So you can go into the information. Also, your phone is now visible as well. So we can go into the app suite. There's nothing. The app's not, and the apps are coming from your cell phone, so the cell phone's not connected, so it's not going to really show anything there. Information. We can see our energy, our past, traffic information, weather, and then a charge schedule. Like I mentioned before, you can schedule the vehicle to charge at certain times and not charge at other times. So depending on your needs, you can do that. Now the energy is going to expand to the whole screen now. And so it's going to give you a visual idea, basically, of where the power is coming from. So it could be coming from your engine, it could be coming from your battery, and where the actual energy is going. So your power might be going to the climate control, the engine might be charging the battery, you might actually get some feedback from the wheels as you're going downhill, coasting or whatever. It's going to generate some electricity, which is going to go to the battery. So all these things. So I'm just going to put it in drive here for a second and kind of move forward slightly, And as I do that, you see now showing that the battery is now powering the electric motor, which is going to the wheels. So I'm stopped. Go ahead and put it in reverse. Show you the backup camera here. So as when I'm in reverse, is actually going to have two things. The sonar sensors will be activated, but also your backup camera will show up at the very top. Now you notice the bottom portion is all dark, so it just kind of has this little tiny screen there at the top all of a sudden when you put it in reverse. Also, it constantly beeps while you're in reverse to let you know you're actually in reverse. Okay, so kind of give you an idea. Now you can change your view. So if this is a little bit weird looking, you can change it to that, but it's basically the same thing. It's just different orientations of the vehicle. So however you visualize the vehicle better, you know, those different views might help. And then this shows your battery level, engine, what's going on with the engine, and then your climate, basically how much power your climate control is using. All right, let's get out of that. And let's go to settings. So there's lots of different settings here that you can go into. Now, one of the apps, the Entune app on your cell phone, you're able to control the climate control. So let's say you're in a meeting, you're getting ready to wrap up, you can go, and it's cold outside or hot, you can go ahead and get on that app and go ahead and get your heater going or your air conditioner going before you get out to the vehicle, which is neat. It communicates to your vehicle and sets it up for you. But that will have to be set up on your cell phone with the Entune system. And you have your volume for your radio, and then your audio you can turn off there. Front and rear defrosters. Now when you turn on the rear defroster, it will turn on your heated side mirrors as well. And there's your temperature for your climate control. So you have some buttons there that you can, you know, quickly adjust when you need to. All right, so this is your shifter. So it's a little bit different than the average car. It's just like the previous Prius shifters, but it's something that some people are not familiar with. So park, you push this button to have it in park. To put it in drive, you just push it over and push it down. And now we're in drive. We can go forward. We can push it over and hold it and go into neutral. And push it over and push it up to the top to go reverse. You actually see what gear you're in up here. And of course in reverse you're going to definitely know it because of the beeping and the camera there. Alright, so let's go ahead and when you're in drive, okay, this is only while you're in drive, you can push down to get some braking. So that way you won't have to use your brakes so much to basically slow the vehicle down. It does give you that ability to use that right there. And when you're done, you just push that and it puts the vehicle in park. Over here is your drive mode, so you can push that and you have power mode, eco mode, normal. So you got power, eco, and normal. And it cycles through there. And then you have the hybrid drive or the electric hybrid vehicle or electric vehicle. So you can switch. So you want to have mainly electric. You can drive for a certain amount of time, depending on your battery life. Or you can have hybrid, which will cycle the engine on and off throughout that time. And then you have the EV auto. So that way it'll do what it needs to do, basically, as far as the electric part. So you can drive to a certain extent and then it'll kick in the engine and go back into your hybrid drive. So down here is really cool. This is the wireless charger for your cell phone. So you simply place your cell phone on that pad and it starts charging automatically after a few seconds. If it's of course wireless charging capable, which most phones now are now, you could just lay it there. It takes a few seconds, it starts charging. Doesn't matter if it's in a case or not. That's one of the things that my first question was, does it work with a case on? And yes, it does. Even a real thick case, I've tried it and it does work fine. Now it charges most likely slower than if you have a direct connection, but it's still, you're able to charge your phone while still just laying it there. Now, if you don't have your phone there or whatever, you can put stuff in there and use that as a storage space. It's not going to, you know, shock you or anything like that. It's just a pad there. So if you don't even use your cell phone in it, it's not a big deal. You can just put papers, whatever you want in there. But when it's time to charge your cell phone, you will have to have the cell phone as close down as possible. So you don't want to have, it won't, if you have a pile of stuff there, then it's not going to work. It has a certain range in which it has to be. Then you have your cup holders here, and it has these little things that spring in and out for articulation for different size cups. Also, this pushes down to allow for a handle and a mug, or just extra room if you need that. Push it again to go back up. And then your USB auxiliary ports are there with a 12-volt power supply. Armrest, it's pretty long, but it's about as soft as the back one. It's basically a little bit soft, and then it bottoms out very quickly. And this lifts up, or folds up I should say. Then you have this little tray that's removable, and you have some storage space in here. It goes in there quite a ways, and there's a felt lining at the very bottom. The rest of it's all smooth plastic, so you can take out the felt lining, clean it out, and it's fairly easy to clean since the rest of it's that smooth plastic. Okay, so the rear view mirror it's an auto dim rear view mirror, which you can turn that feature on and off here. And then you have your HomeLink garage door opener controls along the bottom. You have tap lights here and there. It's hard to tell. It doesn't really look like those are LEDs. It looks more like a standard bulb. I'm not sure though. You can turn on all the interior lights all off, or have it turn on with the door in the center position. Then you have this under the little cover. It has a SOS button for roadside assistance. It's pretty neat that it has underneath the cover. It's kind of like a spy vehicle or whatever. It has like a secret button there. And this is a place to put your cell phone, and it has a felt lining similar to a pool table type felt, but not right here, just there in the back. Then you have visors with mirrors and lights that turn on as you open it up. Same thing on the passenger side. Okay, so let's look at the visibility. So remember I mentioned that the little piece of glass underneath, you have basically two panes of glass with that little curved portion. So you can see the headrests get in the way quite a bit. They're kind of like in line and adding to the blind spot as far as the pillar. But there at the very center you have fairly good visibility. Of course you can fold the back seats down if you really want to. Now you have the blind spot monitor system, rear cross traffic alert, the parking sensors, backup camera, all that stuff to help you out with visibility and all that stuff anyway. But you know, it is a little bit of an issue from what I can tell as far as the blind spot. Something like all vehicles you have to get used to. Now here on the sides you have lots of glass as far as seeing over your shoulder and see if any cars are coming, so that's all good. Alright, so there you have it. Really, really nice and rare. These are very rare vehicles to have access to, for me at least. So the Prius Prime is it's one of those type of vehicles that you get once a year here at the dealership, maybe more, but it's a very rare vehicle. So anyways, thank you for watching, and thank you to Sparks Toyota here at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.